What's up, people? This is Zargon87, and I just came upon this story. All right, check this out. Amber Heard's assistant says that she was mentally and verbally abusive. Well, no shit. Let's check this out. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's legal teams are gathering statements and testimony from those who compromised the inner circle around the couple during their marriage, and now the former assistant of Amber has said that she is mentally and verbally abusive, that she was abused by her. In a declaration obtained by the Blast, Kate James, who was her assistant, it looks like, from 2002 to 2015, she describes working with her as a nightmare. Kate James says that she is a seasoned vet in the entertainment industry and has been a personal assistant to very high profile people. James, her document explains how she was privy to many of the private interactions between Heard and Depp, including her first impression of the Pirates of the Caribbean star. So Amber was already dating Johnny when she started working for her. Oh, Amber would speak in disparaging terms about Johnny. She would say that she was dating an old man. So I guess that, yeah, behind Johnny's back, she was talking crap about him, which doesn't surprise me at all. So it looks to me like what it's saying is she was using Johnny Depp to raise her own celebrity, which makes more sense. When I first visited Johnny's home, I couldn't believe how similar it was to what Amber was in the process of trying to create. It was almost identical. Yeah, she's a succubus. she she's using him for her own celebrity, and she's talking disparagingly about him. It makes perfect sense. She went on and had Laura purchase an old-fashioned typewriter. Oh wow. She's trying to mimic everything that Johnny has. What? She threw away all of her paperback books and began curating an extensive collection, of first edition hardcovers just because Johnny has some. She found this behavior to be quite bizarre. Very soon afterwards, there was also drastically changed almost overnight as she tried to morph into a bohemian way of dressing. Oh, just like Johnny's style. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. People want to be Johnny. I mean, so it looks like she was just trying to mimic his style and she relished in his fame. Oh, wow. And she was using him to get more designer clothing just because she was his girlfriend. So she's a user and abuser. And it looks like Amber would scream at her. So there's the verbal abuse. A large part of my job was contacting various brands with her requests for free clothing. She would spend hours handpicking the requests she would then send to me to reach out. If the brand offered a discount rather than complete for free, she would refuse. Good Lord, woman. As she Amber was regularly verbally and abusive mentally abusive, and would often scream at me in that way over the smallest things. She would fly into blind rages where no one could reason with her. Yep, I know those people. It was like she thought regular things that could go wrong in any person's life at any given day didn't apply to her. Yeah. Everything that went wrong was always my fault. I remember one occasion where she missed a connection on a flight due to Christmas Day in 2012. My aunt was visiting from Australia at that time. She was screaming abuse at me for literally hours as though I had made it snow and caused the disruptions of the flight. So, sociopath? Seems like it to me. James also states that Heard did not like her having communication with Depp. Oh, I see. So she's one of those that gets mad at her for talking to Johnny. Amber hated me talking to Johnny, even if it was just polite small talk. Overly controlling, overly obsessive. Regularly took hallucinogenic drugs and even bragged about them. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're mentally ill, taking hallucinogenic drugs is not going to help anything. Amber often took drugs during the time of my employment, such as mushrooms and MDMA. Well, can't say that I'm not jealous. She was open about it, almost to the point of bragging. So she took drugs mixed with wine. She incoherent texts sent by Amber to her around 2 to 4 a.m. I discovered later that she had gone ahead and deleted all evidence of abusive texts from that iCloud account. Well, why wouldn't she? So, Amber's assistant says that Johnny is a calm and thoughtful person. And yet, Amber is a control hungry sociopath. That's what I'm getting. She says, in contrast, Johnny was calm and quite shy in all of my experiences of him. He was always thoughtful and kind and a genuine and decent person. Johnny would be there to hang out with him. Johnny would be there and would hang out with him. Oh, with the son of the assistant, teaching him how to play the guitar. He would be patient and kind with him. I would never have left my son with Johnny while I was working if I had any concerns about him whatsoever. So what she's saying is she would leave her kid with Johnny, and Johnny would teach her son guitar, and it sounds like the assistant had no problem with keeping her kid with Johnny, even with these allegations. So she had no concerns about him. Okay, she goes on to say that the stress eventually took a toll on her body, and James claims her family was extremely worried. So, her friends were asking her why she would just quit, that it was affecting her health. Yep. She claims that she never saw violence on either side. Well, I would say that Amber is obviously guilty of mental and verbally abuse, violence. I mean, We already know that she's guilty of physical violence against Johnny. I mean, she's made it quite clear in the recordings that she did. And but mental and verbal abuse is also violence. So she's quite guilty of that too. Perhaps the most important to the defamation case, James's declaration states that she never witnessed a violent altercation. That Johnny allegedly hurled a phone at her face. She said she would go to Amber's house almost every day, and she told her when she was going to come and when she was going to leave. So it would regularly be without notice. I never saw any sign of altercation. Oh, so she came in without noticing them. She never saw any physical violence by either Johnny or Amber. She saw Amber much more frequently than Johnny. Um, I never once saw any bruising, swelling, or any evidence that could have resulted from violence. I would often see her She would often see her naked or semi-naked when she was getting dressed for a fitting, like 7 days a week. Wow. She is a classic bully. After her professional relationship, this Kate James says that Amber Heard is a classic bully and that she's permanently scarred. Whew. Those are the eyes of a sociopath. With the benefit of hindsight, I now recognize Amber's behavior towards me as mental abuse, which is totally understandable. I feel constantly embarrassed that someone so much younger than me could make me feel so worthless. Amber is a classic bully, and she enjoyed making me feel stupid. And this is a bitch. A spokesperson for Amber Heard tells The Blast that this was a disgruntled former employee that was fired for poor performance and clearly has an agenda and an axe to grind. Well, if you've endured mental and verbal abuse, then yeah, I can see a reason to having an axe to grind. I mean, don't act victim right now, Amber. So yeah, that's the story. Again, Amber is trying to act victim, even though she is the perpetrator of this verbal and mental abuse. And more and more about this crazy woman comes out every day, and man, I don't even know what to say about this stuff anymore. I mean, what can you say that hasn't already been said? She's a nutcase. Well, thanks for watching and listening. Please give this video a like, and please subscribe to me. I am doing my best to make the best content I can at this point, and I'd appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. All right, thanks, guys. See you guys.